I rise to perform a solemn duty today, which is to commemorate the shooting at Virginia Tech of 32 students and faculty members who were killed 6 years ago today, and many others who were injured. Ras Alameddine, Jamie Bishop, Brian Bloom, Ryan Clark, Austin Michelle Cloyd, Jocelyn Couture Nowak, Daniel Alejandro Perez Cueva, Kevin Granada, Matthew Gwaltney, Caitlin Hammerin, Jeremy Herbstritt, Rachel Elizabeth Hill, Emily Hilscher, Jarrett Lane, Matthew Laporte, Henry Lee, Liviu Librescu, G.V. Loganathan, Partaje Mamora Halamuan Lambantoran, Lauren McCain, Daniel O'Neill, Juan Ramon Ortiz Ortiz, Meenal Panchal, Aaron Peterson, Michael Poley, Julia Pride, Mary Karen Reed, Rima Samaha, Waleed Mohammed Sha'alan, Leslie Sherman, Maxine Turner, Nicole White. I read those names, Mr. President, to honor those who were killed and had their lives snuffed out on April 16, 2007. I acknowledge also that many students and faculty members were injured, and we have with us in the gallery today both family members of those who were deceased and even some students who were injured. I also honored all in the Hokie, the Virginia Tech community that is very close, that still suffers the wounds from this horrible shooting. Mr. President, in the aftermath of the shooting at Virginia Tech 6 years ago today, we learned a lot. We learned that we have to make fixes to the mental health system, that school security and safety is incredibly important, that alert systems that can notify people when bad things happen are incredibly important. But, Mr. President, we also learned a tragic but important lesson, and that is that background record checks make us safer. I read the names, the 32 names of those who had been killed. I want to, as I conclude, take a couple of minutes to just tell the story of one of the individuals. I read the name of Liviu Librescu. Liviu Librescu was a professor at Virginia Tech, a professor of engineering. He was teaching a course in Norris Hall on the day of this horrible tragedy, and as shots rang out, he heard the shots, and he went to the door, and he barricaded the door with his own body. And on the second floor of Norris Hall, he told his students to get out of the window and get to the ground and get to safety. But, Mr. President, here is the good news for those of us who have the honor and the blessing to serve in this chamber. We do not have to put our body in front of bullets to keep people safe. We do not have to put our body in front of bullets to protect kids, to protect students. All we have to do is have an infinitesimal portion of the courage that Liviu Librescu has and cast votes. And cast votes on the floor of this body to keep our community safer and to keep our children safer. Now, I've heard it said that, this is going to be a hard vote, and for 20 years, there's not been a meaningful discussion of these issues on the floor of the Senate because interests are too powerful, the NRA is too powerful, it will be a vote that will be scored, and we need to worry about it. It'll take courage to. It does not take courage to any degree. When you think about Liviu Librescu, who saved his students, or just last week, I met the daughter of Mary Sherlock, who was the guidance counselor in Sandy Hook, who ran to save her students and were killed. When you think about the courage and the heroism shown by these individuals, what we're being asked to do on the floor of this body is the least we can do. Because it is about heroism. And we honor heroes like Liviu Librescu, but the people who put us in office expect us to have at least a small measure of courage, a small measure of heroism. We owe it to those students and others who were shot and killed or wounded at Virginia Tech. We owe it to those people who were killed or wounded in Newtown. And I would just ask all my colleagues to reflect upon the example of a Professor Librescu and the heroism that he showed as we debate what might be controversial proposals this week. But again, the blessing that we have as United States senators is this: we do not have to interpose our bodies in the way of violence to make a difference and make people safer. And it is my hope that we will do that as we debate and vote in the coming days.